All right, so hi, I'm Morris Rosenthal of Foner Books, and we're looking at the medication section of my education reform plan. And I think it's important to note this is only a small part of a comprehensive education reform plan. But medication in the school system is talked about quite a bit now, and you really have to look at the outcomes of medicating. So I try to approach this from two directions. First of all, if you know, we start off with whether or not the school is a psychologist on staff. And it pays, just for the sake of experimentation, to simply start by increasing the medication dosage. And then you immediately check and see whether or not teacher morale is better. If not, you step up the medication. And we do this because it's been found that it's simply more cost effective to medicate the teacher in an overcrowded classroom, so that rather than medicating 30, 35, 40 students, you're medicating one teacher, and it's just far more efficient. But if for some reason you're not happy with that approach, we continue down, and the question is whether or not the student responds to therapy here. And we find that if the student responds to therapy in any way, the idea is to mainstream the student and have them wear a t-shirt that says, I responded to treatment. And that's the same as, like a bright colored spider or something in the tropics that the other little animals all know that it says danger. But if the student doesn't respond, the idea is to continue to experiment on the student's brain chemistry with the help of a qualified quack. And once the student is sufficiently stable, the question is if the student can read or not, because this is sort of the main outcome that we're looking for from education. And if the student can't read, the next question is whether or not the student could read before medication began. And if the answer is yes, then you actually have a problem, and you should discontinue the medication, fire the quack, and have the student get some good financial counseling for the lawsuit that they're going to be launching against the school system. But if the student couldn't read before medication, then we go back up to the very top of the flowchart for student repair, and everywhere the word student appears, you simply replace that word with teacher or parent, depending on your perspective, and the problem should eventually work itself out. But in the case that the medication has been successful and the student can read, our suggestion is to have the student read Flowers for Algernon and find out whether or not they're upset. If they're not upset by this, then we go back and we experiment with their brain chemistry some more, because that would be a problem. If they are upset by this, then the student is fine and we can mainstream them with the t-shirt. So this is part of my overall comprehensive education reform plan. You can see we'll zoom out here that medication is only a small part of it. And I hope that with this education reform plan we can really fix the problems that the country is confronted with. So send it in to your congressman or your senator, and maybe they'll be able to pass it. I'm Morris Rosenthal for Foner Books, and you can find this comprehensive plan on my website, student.pdf, and I'll put the link in the little description that YouTube allows for the video.